Starting a wholesaling real estate business is simpler than you think. You see, the key is to actually get started. You actually have to commit to wholesaling and you can't dabble in it. Guys, watch this video and I'm going to show you the key secrets so you can simplify your wholesaling business so you don't sit here and analyze the death and never get started. But before I do that, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe notification button to continue to receive the absolute best information on wholesaling today. So I said it, the key is you got to start. One of the biggest problems I see in wholesaling is people just don't get started. They talk about it and they want everyone's opinion on it. Honestly, that didn't work for you before. Why do you think it's going to work now? The key is commit and actually get started. Here's a little secret. You are the problem of why you can't get started in wholesaling. You're bringing the complexity to wholesaling and you're making it complicated because your brain's trying to figure out it's got to be tougher than what they're telling me. And so we're going to complicate the crap out of it and basically self-sabotage what you're doing in wholesaling. So my advice to you is stop it. I've given you 21 years of history that this business works for real. Why are you trying to complicate it so much? It's not you, it's your subconscious. You're trying to find a way to make it like fall apart and you're doing a great job doing it. So stop screwing this up. Just get out of your own way and get your wholesaling business started. So let's walk through the steps to simplify your wholesaling business. And if you feel like you are the major bottleneck in your business, watch the rest of this video. Number one, you got to get the right plan. So all great business plans have to have the right plan to begin with. And honestly, this is a minefield you're walking through wholesaling. Everybody's an expert on it. Everyone tells you what to do. The reality is very few people know what they're doing. And most people are trying to be a full-time coach so they can flip students as opposed to flip properties because you can scale it much more. It's just the truth. Nobody wants us to tell you it. I've been in this business 21 years. The coaching business far exceeds the wholesaling business. Why? Because it's actually easier. Here's the problem is most of the people have very little experience wholesaling, or they had some success 4 or 5 years and then they switched over to coaching. Honestly, because they're easier and it's the lazy way to make money. Sorry, I don't mean to bust gurus. It's just the truth. Or you're trying to get advice from someone who's done this business for 6 months, 12 months, or a year, and you don't know if they got lucky or they actually done this business. And most people teaching wholesaling have not been through multiple markets and they don't understand it. And if you got a wholesaling coach in the last 5 years, you're going to be in for a shock because the last 5 years of wholesaling doesn't even slightly replicate what normal wholesaling operations are. And they got away from the principles of how to do wholesaling. And that's why a lot of wholesalers are lost right now because they didn't learn the fundamentals of wholesaling. So make sure you're getting the right plan and the right information. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We've had it up for 3 years. I've made it 100% free, me and my son. And not only can you get your first deal, get you to your first $100,000 deal, and it is the most in-depth, most comprehensive wholesaling course. I stake my reputation on it, and it doesn't cost you any money. Why? Because I want you to succeed. It's hard enough in this business, but honestly, if you don't have the right plan, you are not going to succeed no matter how good or simple you make this business. You don't learn wholesaling like you did in school. You don't go to school for 15, 20 years, study, and then get a good, safe job and you get a paycheck and then you get to implement it and see if it works. The real business works like this. You get a great plan, you get the right information, you exercise your action, meaning you're going to go out and you're going to talk to customers, you're going to find motivated sellers and you write contracts. That actually equals results. So you got to have the right plan and you got to take a massive amount of action. That's how you get results. If you try to do it in any other order, it's not going to work. Trust me on this. You cannot study extra years to be better in wholesaling. Honestly, the action is as important and probably more important than the actual plan because you can take a ton of action and if you don't have a good plan, you're still going to find a way to make it. But honestly, if you put the right action with the right plan, the sky's the limit in wholesaling. The next one is you got to recognize fear. And I know there's a lot of great acronyms out there. I can't remember off the top of my head to do it, but fear is the one thing that just freezes a lot of investors. And fear will stop you in your tracks. Fear is something you just don't know the final outcome. And it's a warning signal to say, listen, don't do that or something bad could happen. But it's a false fear in wholesaling because you're going to have to take that action and take that risk to get the outcome you desire. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Now remember, fear is there and it's designed in your body to keep you alive. But it also screws with you when you actually try to make a difference in your life and you want to make a change. And a lot of people just stop at fear. Hey, it's scary. I don't want to do it. I'm uncomfortable. Honestly, that's the point where you push further and you go ahead. You see, you've been taught your whole life fear is something you run from and you hide from. In the real world of business, you actually have to deal with fear head on. So stop running away from it and embrace it. If you're uncomfortable and it makes you feel funny, as long as you're physically safe, you are in the right path. Because what most of you are doing is using your old subconscious mind, that previous job you had, maybe it's the previous schooling, maybe your parents programmed you bad, maybe it's a combo of all of it, and you're trying to use those filters in today's wholesaling world. And you go, oh, that sounds risky. I want to stay safe. I don't want to do that. That makes me uncomfortable. No, you actually have to go through it and do it. Stop being so scared. Everything you want is on the other side. I'm not physically putting you in jeopardy, but I'm going to put you out there. And I guarantee you're going to get rejected. You're going to get your feelings hurt. But you told me you want to become financially free and you want freedom of your time. You have to pay the price for it. You are going to have to go out, basically put yourself out there. You're going to have to be very transparent and you're going to have to get in front of a lot of people. And I know that scares a lot of you. But is that fear greater than the box you're stuck in? I don't have time with my family. I don't have money. I don't have freedom to do whatever I want. Honestly, if you're committed and you have the conviction for wholesaling, understand there will be fear and you have to have the ability to overcome it. You see, you can't use that old programming because that old programming did not help you. It didn't work. So you're going to have to change how you do things and you're going to have to open up and do the things that you never thought you could do. Because if you don't do them, you're going to be stuck in your old self. And which is more painful? Your previous past that didn't work, that drove you to wholesaling, or the pain of calling strangers that you don't know and seeing if they want to sell their house. Honestly, you'll only need a few people that need to sell their house. You are not a realtor trying to get 100 people to sell their house at the same time. It doesn't work that way. Remember, wholesaling is a journey. And if you paid somebody 10 grand or you got it for free at freewholesaling.com, everybody who enters the wholesaling portal will go on this journey. And you're going to have good experiences, you're going to have bad experiences, but nobody can skip the journey. And a lot of people think they can pay that huge price tag and skip it. The journey is how you learn wholesaling. Now, you can get an instruction plan. If you want to pay for the plan, that's your right to do. But we're all going to go on the same journey. And if it's paid or free, you're all taking the same ride. The question is how much pain will you have along on it? That's up to you. But you have to do it. That's what makes you the wholesaler you are. And the last part on this is your ego. The ego, that part of your brain that always says, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. I'm going to argue till I die. I'm right. Lose your ego. Your ego will never serve you in wholesaling. And honestly, it's going to kill you in wholesaling. If you always think you're right and you're always going to argue that you're right, the reality is it's just your childlike brain trying to make you feel good and give you an instant rush of dopamine. For you to learn wholesaling, you have to be open. You have to be open to criticism and you have to be willing to learn and do things that make you wildly uncomfortable. Not physically, it just means you got to talk to a lot of people. And your ego is going to tell you, no, you're too good for this. Like, forget it, guys. This isn't fake book. You actually have to do the work here. And if you lose your ego, it will go so much faster to learn the wholesaling business. So now we're into the mechanics of wholesaling. And like, I had to go through all these steps to show you because these are the stumbling blocks that most wholesalers can't get through it. And the next thing is we've got to gather a list of the most motivated sellers. It's that simple. Because without a list, what are you going to do? Go knock door to door? Go get that list. How do I get that list? Really simple. Go to freewholesaling.com. We teach you in detail. Get your government list. They're free, but you're going to have to work to get them. Why? Because where there's smoke, there's fire. That's why we love code violations, tax delinquencies, eviction list, foreclosures. water shutoffs, fire damage. Dude, the list goes on and on. Go over to freewholesaling.com. These aren't super sexy lists. They come directly from a government source. That's why they're called government lists. But these lists have direct motivation. And as a wholesaler, you need to speak to as many motivated sellers as possible. Notice I said motivated sellers. If you want to speak to sellers, go to MLS. That's not wholesaling. I don't teach any of that. You got to understand that. The other technique that's so basic and works so well, and I still do to this day, is just driving for dollars. Just get in your car, go look for ugly houses, look for high landscaping, blue tarps on the roof, boards on the windows, deferred maintenance. Guys, I just gave you a $3,000 coaching program in 20 seconds. I just try to cut to the chase and tell you how wholesaling works. You've got to find the most motivated sellers to even have a shot at wholesaling. And then your job from there is to connect with as many as you humanly possibly can. How you do that is up to you. You're going to do cold calling. You're going to do texting. I grew up door knocking. I know it's a different day now, but you got to connect with as many sellers as humanly possible. And keep in mind, you have to focus on motivated sellers, because if some guru tries to sell you a package and says, hey, listen, I know you have no experience in wholesaling, but you can go to this thing called MLS and there's hundreds of thousands of properties for sale, you're going to get killed on that. Those aren't motivated sellers. Those are wish in the list pie sky, and that's why they have realtors. They have to be on MLS 6 months or plus with at least 3 price changes before I would even consider them. Why would you even start in a landmine of realtors? And realtors do not like wholesalers. I didn't create this feud, but it's always ongoing. And if you try to shove it down their mouth, you're going to even get more frustrated and quit the wholesaling business. So look for motivated sellers. That is your number one job, especially when you first start out wholesaling. Do not complicate it. Your job is to find motivated sellers. How do you do it? Get the right list, the government list, driving for dollars. Once you have these lists, you got to reach out, just start contacting me. As I said, most people are going to start out cold calling. Some people are going to text. Some of you guys are going to mail. Some of you are going to door knock. Here's the secret. You got to have a lot of quantity. Listen, when you tell me, Rick, I talked to 20 sellers. Okay, was that the first hour of your day or the second hour? 20 is not a significant number. You need hundreds per day. It's the truth, guys. Most coaches and gurus won't tell you this. You need a lot of quantity because you're pushing a boulder uphill with no momentum. You're going to have to push as hard as you humanly possibly can to even get the basic momentum going. And I know what you're saying. Well, Rick, I don't have the experience for this. How do I do it? What you lack in experience, you're going to make up in enthusiasm, eagerness. I give young people a shot all the time because if they have a great attitude and they're very helpful, why not? But if you're not very talkative and you're very secluded and you don't have the experience, it's going to be a very tough hill battle. So if you don't have the experience, you need to step up and say, listen, I know I'm going to have to make it up with enthusiasm, energy, and just be beyond helpful. And if you do that, you're going to stand out above the rest of everybody else that the seller had an appointment with, and at least gives you the first shot to get the deal. So after you contact the sellers, you find the ones that want to work with you. You simply meet with them. In the beginning, if you can meet with them physically in person, is much better belly to belly, because 70% of most communication is nonverbal, meaning their eyes, how they hunch down, look up, look sideways, how they hold their arms. And if you can't do that and you're doing it virtually, just pay attention to the tone of their voice on the phone and the speed and the tonality of their voice. But you got to really pay attention at this point. So at this point, when you meet with people, when we talk about simplifying this business, stop trying to be like your coach, your guru. You don't have to be Rick. You don't have to be Zach. I need you to be you. God made one particular person you, and there's no other person like you. So emphasize it. If you're funny, I've never met someone that, if they didn't crack a laugh or a smile, like they are much more prone to connect with you. You got to build amazing rapport with these people, and you got to find a way to have a conversation with them. We teach you how to do it over at freewholesaling.com. Remember, the better conversations you have, the better the result's going to be. Go in trying to help people. I always say, listen, even if I don't buy your house, I'm going to help you out of this situation because I truly want to help people. I can't help out everybody, and I know that, but I go in with a helping hand. How do I do it? I be transparent. I be authentic. I just be myself. That way I don't have to pretend to be somebody else. And I'm very simple. I go in typically with jeans or shorts, usually a nice shirt, nice shoes. And I walk in with no phone, no paperwork, and I just try to strike a conversation, and I want to connect with them on a personal basis. And remember this, In the beginning, you're not going to know everything. Actually, you're not going to know a lot. So let me simplify this process for you. You don't need to know how to figure out every problem in real estate. You're going to have people with probate issues. You're going to have people with title issues. You're going to have problems finding the right sellers to sign documents. You're going to find liens on properties. You're going to get code violations. Oh my God, what do we do? Stop worrying about it. You have one job. You find and connect with motivated sellers. And then I teach you how to get a team to help you solve these problems. And by the way, here's a secret. Your title company is an integral part of your team. You should have set up a relationship with them. If you don't, go ahead and do that now. They're going to help iron out about 80% of these problems for you. And then the ones you have to get an attorney or somebody else involved, you simply tell the seller, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll get you the answer in 24 hours. Do you mind if I call you back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.? Boom. You're honest, you're transparent, and you're learning. And you didn't harm the relationship. This is how it works in wholesaling. Be yourself. I can't emphasize this enough. And stop worrying about every problem that's going to come up. Just go out and meet with these people. When the problems come up, that's how you learn this business. And you learn why you earn. That's the secret. The next part, you're simply, once you have a contract, which we have a simple 2-page contract at freewholesaling.com. You can go there right now and download and use it. Once you have that contract, write the contract, and you're simply going to reach out to cash buyers. Remember, you're selling the contract, not the property. You sell your contract, what we call it via assignment of contract, which we have at freewholesaling.com too. And then you basically collect the difference. So if you contract the property for $100,000 and you sell it for $115,000, you receive a $15,000 assignment of contract. And we show you how to do it over and over again. Remember, the real money is in the art of the deal in real estate. It's never in the rehab and the fixing. And you let other people, you sell them that dream. You find the deals. That's how you're going to make the most money in real estate. So guys, I know I gave you a lot of information here, but you have to simplify wholesaling. Most of the time, it's you that's getting in the way. You're complicating the business and you're trying to do it some fancy way. Just get down to business. Go out and find motivated sellers, meet with them, write contracts, and repeat it over and over, and simplify your process. The more complicated you make it by involving real estate agents, real estate attorneys, and all these other people, only use them when you need them, and all this will come in time. Because if you do wholesaling correct, you can actually earn a really nice income while learning the business, and you can grow. The complete opposite way you learned in school. I know it's crazy, but you can learn and earn in wholesaling. We show you how to do it. If you want more information, go over to freewholesaling.com. And guys, stop over analyzing how to do a wholesaling business. The key is just get started, take a massive amount of action, and enjoy the journey of wholesaling. So guys, let me know in the comments if you've started simplifying your wholesaling business. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe notification button so you can continue to receive the best information on wholesaling today. Guys, this is Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.